Hello guys, back for another vlog video, and this time we're talking about life changes, a lot of different things going on. The biggest thing that happened to me, one of the reasons why, quite frankly, I haven't had any new videos up, especially community video, that I've been wanting to get out, but I'll get that out tomorrow night, well, first thing is, at my job, I finally became a regular. I've been a sub there for years, and basically, if you're a sub, uh, at where I work at, you're supposed to have, like, Sundays are always off. It doesn't matter, nobody works on Sunday, but you're supposed to have another day off. But usually, or sometimes, the way it works, because you're a sub, a lot of times you don't get that day off, or you can work till they need you. So there are times, like this last holiday, there were times where I didn't go home till 9 o'clock at night, and so it's hard to plan or basically do a lot of things due to that fact. And being a regular gives me the option where I have a set. This is what I do. When I'm done with it, that's it, nothing else. So it is a set hour, not set hours, but set. What is set hours in a way, but it's more like set. This is what you do when you're done. You're done, and I'm able to get done a lot earlier and a more stable schedule. And I know my days off. I know this is what I work, and that's it, kind of thing. And that's why in the past, for many over the years, when I said I'd have a video out, and I didn't. It was simply because I'd either work too late at work or get off work later than I was supposed to, and then there's other stuff going on. It made things challenging at times, but now things get easier. And over that time, I picked up some bad lifestyle habits, uh, like more like eating habits, kind of thing, like just eating junk at work, or whatever, because of the hours. And I need to get back to lifestyle, some lifestyle ways I had before that. And not that work was all of it. I mean, I could have made the changes myself at any time before this, but it's just one of those things where I guess more motivation now, I guess you might call it. But anyway, so it gives me more time to do a lot of things, family things. Yeah, hopefully get some of the video things I've wanted to do for a while, but just didn't have the time to do it or put the time into it. Uh, like maybe more stable, when the community videos and other stuff I say are going to actually come out. I am going to gear back. I said, oh, I need to get all the videos on my old channel, or all my old videos I used to have over here by the end of the year, but that's just so many videos that's not possible. I mean, I'd have to upload like more than 2 or 3 videos at least a day, not making any new videos. So I'll just slowly do it over time. Who knows how long it'll take, but I mean, it is fun, like the old community videos, which I definitely uh, plan on putting those over. I kind of thinking about the day I put out a community video, maybe in the morning putting out an old one, and then that night putting out a new one. Not this video, but maybe the next one comes out. Uh, so I also lately have actually motivated to been writing down, like typing out my like memories of video games. Actually, like I was looking through like old. I found a site to, like, I was downloading, looking through like old Nintendo Fun Club and Nintendo Powers. The first issues of Game Pro, Electronic Gaming Monthly, and just like games that I have fond memories of. To me, I think the funnest things about whether it's a pickup video or talking about games is your memories of it. Like, what is your experience with it? Not just like, here's this game, I heard this, kind of thing, or you really have no experience on it, but you just talk about what everybody else talks about because you've heard that kind of stuff. Uh, and it's funny because when I was going through like the first issue of Game Pro, for example, I have very fond memories of that issue specifically because I remember my best friend Justin lived across the street, and he went to buy a new game that day. I can't remember the game exactly, and I remember being home. Oh, I can't wait till he comes home because we're gonna play this new game on his Nintendo Entertainment System, and I was like really excited because we both had a Nintendo Entertainment System, so uh, I would just sit at home playing it, waiting for him to come back, and he call and say he's back. I went over there, and he had sitting on the thing, Game Pro Shooter 1. I said, what's this? He goes, oh, they were giving away that for free at the game store. And I looked through it, and I was just like, wow, here's another video game system, that's game magazine that is not Nintendo Power. Because or Nintendo, maybe it was Nintendo Fun Club at the time, or just didn't think they were like, oh wow, there's a magazine to video games. And I looked through cover, and I had to go get one. I got, issue number 1, and I think from that point all the way to the early 2000s, I was subscribed to GamePro, Electronic Game Monthly, you know, those magazines. But it was funny when you go back to GamePro number one, and you kind of open it up. Right near in the very beginning of that magazine, it's an actual pay $15 a year to be part of it was Atari Club, which is like, wow, I completely forgot that existed, kind of thing. And I liked it that where with the magazine downloads I got has all the video game ads that were originally in the magazine, because some of the things, the old magazines you get like that online, if you don't want to buy them all to look at them, just to glance at them, is they don't have the ads. And I love going through those old video game ads in those magazines and stuff you completely forgot about. But doing that made me remember that the first time, and I don't remember what magazine it was, whether it was Nintendo Power or whether it was a Electronic Game Monthly or GamePro, I remember one time one of those ads, there was an address for a video game company, and we did it. I don't know if it was just a joke or just one of those young ideas you get. You know what? Maybe we should write them about this game, and we did. We both wrote letters to them. You know, hey, I'd love to hear any more information on this game. I don't know where this came from. We sent them out, and any address we found in the magazine, we did. And at the time we did this, the first time we ever saw an address, maybe it was one or two. I don't even remember. The letters we got back was, basically, we've never had this kind of request before. Thank you for inquiry, but here's this little flyer we have for, like, a little mini poster for this video game that's coming out. And we were sending out, like, when everyone had a address, we were sending out a ton a day. And ironically, this paid off for the fact that my best friend had gotten a letter from Konami that would he be interested in testing an NES game out for him that hasn't come out yet. And I want to say we did one for Capcom, and then we did one for Konami at one point. I just can't remember the game, but I remember getting it in the mail. We were testing it. We had to send it back by a certain day, and fill out a survey kind of thing. And it was just so cool to play a game that hadn't been released yet. And I know it's a major game, but I don't want to say what I think it is because I need to do research first, because I completely can't remember the game. It's been so many years. But that was cool. It became to the point that we were both sending out so many letters that all these companies just kept basically sending us the stuff without just having to send letters anymore. It was like Konami and Capcom were just sending us stuff. A lot of people forget that Capcom, I believe, also had a newsletter at one point in the mail, just like Nintendo did. I think Konami did. I want to say Konami did also. We had gotten those because we had sent so much stuff out. They just sent that to us. It became to the point where it was weird because we had this weird relationship because we sent so many letters that we must have been sending it to the same person, because it started getting like things back that were more personal from whoever the heck that person or persons were. But it was kind of, that was the way it was back then, right? It was, you had to send a letter, and that was a big thing for a while that a lot of gamers don't even talk about in their videos, that if there were addresses to send letters to find out about a game, if you wanted to find out about it. I wish I'd kept all that stuff. I don't know I think it got thrown away when I went into the military. My mom threw it away, or something happened to it. Because I had gotten like little cards, little mini posters, all kinds of cool stuff they had sent at that time. Because that's when gaming was started. There was no set like it is today. There was no set way to do anything. It was, back then it was more of, actually in a lot of ways, a more personal relationship between the companies and the gamers when you sent them mail and they sent you stuff back, rather than today being they go through the video game magazines, and websites, and not so much through the fans as much. But that was kind of a cool period, me and gaming. Anyway, I was writing down about all these games and stuff, my memories, and I don't know, who knows, maybe I'll put I could put a book together for it someday or something. I don't know. Maybe just keep for myself. Just something that I just decided to start doing. It's kind of cool to go back and look at those old magazines and go, I remember when this was a big deal. Or this thing in this game was such a cool thing that hadn't been done before. Now, of course, it's been done a million times. But back then, when you saw a certain game, you just instantly like, I want that game. Just something about it clicked. But outside of that in life, as much as I talked about the good, there were a lot of bad the last couple weeks. Our garage door decided it didn't want to open up, but this much anymore, which was no big deal. We don't really park our cars in there. It's like a one-car garage. There's stuff in it, so it's like, okay, we can live with it kind of thing. The thing that did kind of suck was, unbeknownst to me, In less than a week, there was like 100 wasp nests built at the very end of my yard under a brick. And unfortunately, my neighbor had gotten stung, and I'm allergic to it. And I went out there to find it and kicked a brick, and I got stung twice really quick. They were little wasps, and it must not have been that strong because I really didn't have much of, besides it hurting, I didn't have much of a reaction to it at all. And how I work, even though I'm allergic to it, I was determined to get rid of them. And I went out and eventually got the block kicked over, and there was like a 4 or 5 layer, just massive nest in the ground that I took care of. I sprayed it with a hose and to break it up, and the next day I sprayed stuff to kill them all off. So, and then just to top that all off, plumbing issues. Ironically, we've had all the sewer line, as I talked about a long time ago. Sewer line, all that stuff in here has been replaced. Like, all that stuff's replaced. The only piping in this house that hasn't been replaced by us, ironically, is right behind the bathroom wall, and it started acting up, like wouldn't drain very well. So we got that unplugged, but we luckily have gotten that unplugged. But at some point we're going to have to just get into the wall and just replace that pipe. Again, that old pipes that were made like, a long time ago, that weren't designed, like they are today, or properly designed. A lot of stuff. This house was a rental house for 30 years, property before we got it. So a lot of stuff where they kind of took like the cheapest way possible. And I have a feeling that when we get back there, the pipes are kind of got just goofy, and that's probably why is one of the issues. But anyway, outside of that, that's all that's been going on. Besides me and my son playing a lot of Minecraft, my son and my wife have been playing Mario Kart 8, a phenomenal fun game. We all have fun playing that game. It's just a great racing game, family racing game, having fun, just playing. So that's all that's been going on, guys, in this vlog. So anyway, like always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks if you liked the video. Thanks if you subscribed. I really do appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys later.